What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome to another quickie. We apologize. Yesterday we had a late upload on the quickie just because the audio wasn't too good, and it was a late night edit that we did. So anyway, it's a new quickie. It's a new day. Kamish, how are you?
I'm fine. Today is the first day, right? First day, week 7.
Week 7. Lots of news as well. Maybe the most obvious news is Michael Porter Jr. If you want confirmation, there you have it. Confirmation. He should be dropped. He is out for the season. Actually, you mentioned about dynasty leagues in your quickie. And
yes.
Do you think he's still a hold in dynasty leagues?
The common answer would be, yeah, it's a dynasty league, but it depends on your rules. If, let's say, your rule is, you can keep him for a year only, I don't think that's worth it. There's still a little question mark if he can come back this season or not, because Shams, I think, tweeted that he's out for the season. Uj said that he's out indefinitely, but possible this week could come back. But for all intents and purposes, there's no way he's coming back this season. There's no way Denver's gonna bring him back, and then they're not contenders anyway. Jamal is out, so there's no way. For this season, he's a drop. For dynasty, if it's only for until next year, I'm not holding him either. I don't think it's worth it if it's until next year only.
Yeah, my take with that is that that kind of injury, I feel, is a big one. I mean, it's a I think it's an injury that could be hard for him to come back from with the same level, because it's a back injury, it's a nerve issue. And remember, before he got drafted, he also, I think, pretty much similar problems. I guess it's the back. And he shared it that the Clippers medical staff told him that he wouldn't be able to play already. I mean, that's obviously an exaggeration in terms of, obviously he was able to play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe, the second time around, it's going to be more difficult to come back from. That's just me. I mean, in a dynasty league, if you just keep a few players, I'd probably just drop him altogether.
Yes,
because we have a dynasty league, and we only keep four to five players in our dynasty league, and I don't think I'll be picking him, or I'll be holding him on, even if I can hold him for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, as we said, there are different rules with dynasty. Some of your leagues do not have salaries or penalties for holding players. Some of your leagues have salaries, and then there's like progressing salaries. Like if you hold Porter, let's say it's $50, next year $60. The more, it's not worth it. And to go back to the back thing, in fairness, majority of NBA players who had back injuries have surgery multiple times. That is, I think I read somewhere that is normal. Mm-hmm. When you get back surgery, you play well for a while, and then you will need another back surgery. So I think he can come back at the level that he was before, but I'm not sure it will take 1 year, not even, I don't know if it's 2 years, 3 years maybe. So that's way down the line. He can play next year. I'm saying he can play next year, but I don't think at that level. At the Porter Jr.
If you can, remember it, when it took him a couple of years, I think, before he was able to get to the level of where he is before the injury. So I mean, he didn't play his rookie year. He didn't play much. I think the second year, I don't think he played as much, or maybe didn't play at all, right?
Yes.
And then on the third year, I think he was already able to play. This is what, his fourth year?
His fourth year, yes. This was his fourth year.
Yeah, so it took him a couple of years before he would. In fact, it took him
3 years,
almost 3 years, because he didn't play well until the late late last year, right? So
the bubble was this really first, really good performance.
yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be hard. So Dynasty League owners of MPJ in Dynasty Leagues would have a tough decision to make whether to drop. But if you can't keep everyone in your team, you'll eventually draft. I'd rather drop him. Another rookie, Jalen Suggs. Another rookie, another injury, and another thumb injury. What's up with the thumb injury this year?
I don't know.
Like we said,
but
last year it was the toe injury. This year it's the thumb that's bothering a lot of NBA players.
This one's worse because this is a fracture.
Yeah.
The ones have seen so far are usually sprains. So this one's a fracture. I read about it, probably 6 weeks, the average.
Yeah.
So that would move us to around end of January maybe. So by that time, I don't know if Markel Fultz looks good, by the way, in the videos.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know who will come back first. I don't know if it's Fultz. I don't know if it's Suggs. I don't know what Orlando is thinking. If it's just really about health, I think Fultz should come back earlier. But we don't know. We don't know if Orlando thinks the same way. But for sure, if you don't have an IL, tough to hold Suggs. I'll drop him.
So do you now add Fultz?
No,
because
no.
I've been seeing lots of Fultz in the waiver wire. If you have an IL, do you stash him?
Yeah. If you have an IL, I'll stash him. But if you don't have an IL, you drop the player in your IL. You tell me who your players are in your IL. But if it's like TJ Warren, I'll stash Fultz over TJ Warren. But
Kelly
if you're
Olynyk.
Yeah, I can go with Fultz over Kelly Olynyk also. Given this, I'd go Pat Bev. Pat Bev is just out for 2 weeks. Fultz is out indefinitely.
Yeah.
We still don't know anything. So not yet. Too bad for Suggs. He's been playing better.
Kyrie.
No. All
right. Who else? Kemba is the other news.
Yeah, Kemba.
Out of the rotation. Well, at least for now, he is out of the rotation. I'm not sure if it's gonna be for long.
Wait a minute. For the Suggs thing, of course, people will ask, is it Gary Harris or RJ Hampton? Cole Anthony is still out. I don't know how long he'll still be out. If he's still gonna not play like for a couple of games, they would start RJ Hampton. If they start RJ Hampton, I think he's the guy I want to own. But if Cole Anthony will eventually come back. When he comes back, RJ Hampton would probably not be worth owning anymore. So yeah. Gary Harris would be the guy who would probably have a more consistent role because he's a small forward shooting guard. So he can play with Cole Anthony. So that's the answer to that. If you want not to add drop, then maybe pick Gary Harris because you can, play him for 3, 4, 5 weeks or how long Suggs will be out. Hampton, I think, is good in the meantime, but might not have the same, value in the whole duration of Suggs' injury.
All right, so it's either Harris or Hampton who could benefit.
There's the only 2 players there.
Yeah,
I mean,
with that. Now let's go back.
Kemba.
Kemba Walker. We talked about him. We, in fact, said that if he's, I actually dropped him in one of the leagues already a couple of weeks ago, and it felt good to drop him at that point. And now it felt even better because he's out of the rotation. Also, I like I said before, I traded Kemba for Kyrie. I'm contemplating how I'm gonna if I'm gonna still hold on to Kyrie. But yeah, now that Kemba's out, at least that made me feel a little bit better. But yeah.
This is good.
Do you
for
think
Kemba
it's gonna be long term? Do you think they'll keep him out, of the rotation for a long time?
No, and this is why I will say no. There will be injuries. There will be injuries to players. Marvin Bagley was out of the rotation and they said he was out of the rotation. He's playing right now. He's playing 24 to 30 minutes. So, no, because injuries will happen. But if, let's say, hypothetically, that 100% New York is healthy at the rest of the season, yes, this will be long term. This will be forever. You're not going to see Kemba Walker. But if you're asking me, if that is the case, we should not drop Kemba Walker. No, you should drop Kemba Walker. I mean, regardless if he comes back to start.
I mean, he isn't playing well anyway, so there's
Yes,
really no harm in
yes.
dropping him and picking up some players who, I mean, if Quickly is still there, you might want to try out Quickly or maybe Gary Harris, for example. If you don't,
Alec Burks is the number one priority, though.
yeah, Alec Burks, but I
Yeah.
in a 14 team league, I doubt that he's gonna be there. In maybe in a 12 team or a 10 team league, he'll probably be there. But yeah, Kemba out of the rotation. Other news, Kristaps, just talked about him.
I told you guys. I told you.
There are a lot of players that we talked about in the past few days that made us look bad.
Not really. We did. We did.
It was called out, all right. We called out some, played well today. I have
No,
a lot of questions about the players playing well today, but let's talk about Kristaps first.
for me,
Kristaps, injury, sprained ankle.
yeah. A matter of time for Kristaps getting hurt. Although this one doesn't look major injuries. Hopefully it's minor. Hopefully he misses, if he misses time, misses 1 game or 2 games. But still, that's how Kristaps is. He just can't, be smooth sailing all the way. And yes, he might play after a week, but what will his condition be? Will he be as hot? I doubt it. I really don't think he will continue to be hot. That's why I was saying that you should trade him. But well, he will come back. He will come back. So we'll just hope that it's just a week.
Yeah. And lastly, the news, Blake Griffin, hasn't been playing, has been out of the rotation for quite a while. With LaMarcus Aldridge playing better, playing well. I don't think Blake is a rosterable player anyway, even before when he was still playing. So it's just that when he was still playing, LaMarcus, we felt, was not as rosterable as we thought he as what he is doing right now. We didn't expect him to be as good as how he is so far.
What is significant maybe is that at least it opens up, it clears up some things with the rotation. Like right now it's really LaMarcus, and then Paul Millsap will get a little minutes here and there. James Johnson has been getting some minutes, and it opens up some possibility that Nick Claxton in the future might have a role, because I really feel he has a role in this team. They're just waiting for him to get healthy. Which is taking a long time. So if you're patient enough, maybe somewhere in December or early January, Claxton can be back. So just keep that in mind. I think the more pressing news with Brooklyn is Joe Harris's ankle injury, the surgery to his ankle. That only means Patty Mills would be probably starting for foreseeable future, for maybe the next month or 2 months. So keep your Patty Mills and there.
So those are the news that happened today. Before we go to the feel good, because there have been lots of great performances today, let's talk about some worry players, particularly Bradley Beal. I was also thinking about Bradley Beal being very underwhelming this year.
Yeah, he's at the 40s this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year he was, I think, was it last year, Steph Curry versus Bradley Beal
scoring title,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, scoring. It went down to the last game, I think, right? I remember that. And this year he's averaging 23 points a game. That's a big drop. That's 8 points. It's 31 to 23. And then he's shooting 44% only this year. The team is better, but I don't know if, his usage is down also. Maybe is it a vaccine or something? I don't know. But
or maybe they're just a better team. Because Washington's been winning. They've been better than last year. Last year you could say it was really about Westbrook and Bradley Beal carrying the team throughout the season and through the playoffs. But now it's more of a team game for them.
But I didn't expect it because Westbrook, of course, we know, hogs a lot of usage, right?
Yeah.
So replacing him with like Kuzma, with KCP, with Dinwiddie, I think like I thought thinking before the season started that Beal would still be the one who's really gonna be the star, and these guys would just complement him. But that's not been the case. Whether he's a buy low at 40, yeah, if you're gonna get a player that is 40th to 50th rank, yes, I would do it. But if you're expecting him to be a top 12 player again this year or top 15, maybe he won't reach there. If he reaches top 25 second round late value, I think that's a good outcome for him already.
All right. Yeah, and I think it's really more of there's really no. If you look at Washington, there hasn't been really a standout for the whole season. I mean, there was a time when Kuzma was hot. There was a time when Dinwiddie was hot. There was a time when Harrell was hot. Now it's Gafford who's playing better. Beal, KCP, right? And Beal is, at least he's the more consistent one there, at least, although not as high as we want, but yeah, at least
he should be. He should be the only star.
That's the silver lining with this Bradley Beal thing. So Bradley Beal, you talked about him not being able to reach top 20 this year.
Do you see top 20 for Bradley Beal?
No, if they keep on winning, no. If Washington, keeps that playoff spot or that play-in spot, I don't think they will. He will, because they're gonna be playing, more team basketball, more move the ball and running, right? So, and everyone can run, everyone can score. So I think they'll really share the ball a lot. This year.
What I guess both of us agree with is that Bradley Beal is better than what he's showing right now. But we also agree that he is not going to be Bradley Beal of last year. So that's where it is. There will still be room for improvement. The 23 points might go up to 26, 27. It can. But
and the field goal, I think he has some room to be better. Because he's good. I mean, field goal wise,
usually, yeah,
he is good for a scorer. That's why he is considered one of the better fantasy players, because or the top fantasy players, because of the elite scoring, like similar to Dame Lillard, right? Right? They're pretty much on the same mold. It's just that Dame is really the bona fide star player there, and he's on a different level than Bradley Beal. Other worry players, Josh Giddey, the shooting still not there, the scoring.
And since SGA came back. You can see that it's different. Without and with SGA is really big difference for him.
But Giddey was kind of okay at the start of the season with SGA.
Kind of.
He was okay. He was okay. I mean, he wasn't bad.
Giddey is ranked 140 something this year, and that's already with all those rebounds and assists that he does, because he's 39% on volume attempts in field goal, and it's also 69% from free throw. So people are blind to that because it's Giddey, it's a rookie.
All right. So 12 team, do you drop Giddey already?
No, I own him in 12 team leagues. I won't drop him. I mean, in 12 team, 13, that's 150 something players. It's around 140 something with the potential to improve as the season goes along. I'll not drop him. But I'm just saying that the name value, if this was Russell Westbrook, he would have been, killed already by everybody. Like, this guy, you can't own him. He's too, or Kevin Porter Jr., for instance. Although, of course, Kevin Porter Jr. is worse with the turnovers and the shooting. With the volume is bigger.
So
with
far, he's been better.
Yeah, but the point is, Giddey gets away with things that are almost similar. And so, if that is the case, why not try to see if maybe something is there that you could explore.
And he's a rookie. He's a rookie, so he gets a little longer leash in terms of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fantasy man, in terms of the manager owning him. The
Mhm.
last of our worry players is Miles Bridges and Montrezl Harrell. We talked about Harrell a
Yeah.
lot. I think our thoughts. He probably would not be as hot as he was in the early part of the season, but we're just hoping that he can at least be a little better than what he's showing
We,
at this point.
well, there was a quote from his coach that they want to give Gafford more minutes going forward. So uh, he had 20 today. I hope it doesn't, as I said, I hope it doesn't go any lower than 20, because if it gets lower than 20, we're in trouble, guys. We're in trouble.
Harrell owners will be in trouble. Well, at least you picked him at 130, 140. So
It still hurts, man. It still hurts. I
yeah,
mean, but
I think the
anyway,
one that would hurt more is Miles Bridges, bringing down his game because some of the early leaders in the leaderboard had Miles Bridges, and somehow that helped their team early on, right? But in fairness to Miles, just not because I'm a Miles believer, but at least he can contribute stats across the board. It's just the volume of stats that he contributes has been, and the field goal hasn't been as good.
yes, the it's the usage also. Terry
Yeah,
Rozier's
yeah.
hot streak right now. He's doing a lot of one-on-ones. He's taking a lot of shots. He's hugging the ball. Miles at times does not even does not even touch the ball anymore, and that hurts him because he needs the attempts. And plus Kelly Oubre, well, not just Terry Rozier. Kelly Oubre is playing so well lately.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting so well also. So today they closed out with Oubre.
Mm-hmm.
So that has hurt him. But I think that would not last. There's no way that Kelly Oubre is 20 points a game. 3 steals, 2 blocks, Kelly Oubre. We know that. So just be patient, Miles owners. Don't sell him for cheap. Be patient. I'm more confident with Miles Bridges.
Yeah,
Montrezl
yeah.
Harrell, whatever.
Now, Montrezl Harrell is a lower end, at
Yeah.
least of lower end value.
Yes.
Miles Bridges, like you said, can still finish top 50. And even if he doesn't, if he finished top 70, that's still a good value
Yeah.
for a player you pick at 90s or the hundreds, right? So I think
Yes.
that's still, and like I said, he contributes differently in every game. Like today, I think he had 2 blocks and he had a number of rebounds and a few assists. So those numbers are not so bad anymore. It's just the scoring wouldn't be as consistent. The usage might not be as consistent because of Rozier.
And he will need the efficiency. He will need it to come back. He will need it to come back. If that comes back, at least it offsets whatever
Yeah.
whatever he lost with the
Yeah.
points and the others.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about some buy players. Let's see who are Bones Highland played today and played well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pick up probably okay. So here's a question: is he a better pickup than maybe a Gary Harris as a replacement for your Suggs?
Yes. Yes. Maybe I'm just a believer. I'm just biased or whatever. But I highlighted what happened the last time. As we said, he's a pickup. The next day, he sprained his ankle in the first play.
Yeah.
He played 2 minutes. He came back in the second half. Could not play. The next game, he tried to play. Could not play. So if you just look at the box score, you will see 2 points and then 0. You will say, he's a bust. But he got injured. So for me, I'm willing to give him another chance. And he played well today. He looked good. And as we know, but PJ Dozier is out this time compared to the last time.
So they're more depleted this year, this time
Yes.
around.
Yes. They played three point guard rotation a while ago. It was so funny. They played Monte Morris, Bones Highland, and Facundo Campazzo together. The three of them together. So if they're gonna do that, more minutes for Bones, even more minutes.
Is it Bones or Facundo?
I think Facundo. We talked about Campazzo, and he's one of our buy players again here. And so
but
far,
that was when we talked about him. That was without Bones in the. We haven't really factored in Bones yet playing. So now that Bones is playing, that's the reason I asked if Facundo is a better ad than Bones.
Well, let's monitor if they're gonna go small. I don't think they have a choice. They really don't have any other small forwards out there. I
Mhm.
mean, Austin Rivers is the only other guy out there. Will Barton. So they're all small. So they might not have a choice unless they sign someone. Campazzo, for me, is more proven. He can give you assists. He can give you assists today and some defensive stats. Per minute, Campazzo is better.
All right.
So I might go with Campazzo.
All right. So do you pick up Bones for Eric Gordon? That's just for my sake.
I like Gordon right now because of Jalen Green's injury.
All
He's
right.
playing so well. He's playing so
Because
well. It's hard.
I see some Bones in a deeper league, like the 16 team or an 18 team, and I was
Well,
thinking
I
like,
see Eric Gordon also. I see Eric Gordon in some leagues also.
yeah, in a
And
14, but in a 16, I don't think he's there.
yeah, in 14s, yes. In 16s, if Bones is there, I think you can pick him up.
All right. Let's talk about some of these guys. Serge Ibaka. All right. I see some Serge Ibaka here. He
Played well.
played well. I think this is the second game he played well.
No, this is the first game.
All right.
He just had more minutes the last time out, but he didn't
Alright.
really do anything. But this is worrisome for Zubac. Zubac had
Really?
17 minutes. Yeah. I mean,
Is
Zubac
this a
played
matchup thing? Is this a matchup thing?
No, I mean, they played against Valanciunas. So,
Well, I watched the game. Valanciunas killed Zubac in the first half, so I think that's the reason why they shifted.
well, the point is if Valanciunas, Zubac cannot stay on the court when Valanciunas is on the court, when will he be on the court? I mean, what
when
center
other
will he...
centers are on the court, not when Valanciunas shoots 7 3-pointers in the first half.
But he's trending down already, Zubac. He has been playing less and less minutes, and the Clippers are doing the 3 center thing with Hartenstein also. So that is
right. It's like it's a trend, right?
Yeah, it's irritating.
Moses Brown started today,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they tried to match up with Cleveland. Right?
Yeah, but it's just irritating that they'll do that. Commit to 2 players. I mean, 3 players in one position is really tough. And there, I think Zubac is trending down. Remember, they didn't have Marcus Morris, I think, today.
Yeah.
There's still no Marcus Morris. There's still no Nick Batum. Yeah. These guys will return eventually. When these guys return eventually, how many players will they
Marcus
play?
Morris returned. I think he just didn't play today, but he returned already.
So yeah, and for Zubac to only get 17 minutes, given those players are out, that's not good. And given the matchup, this is you would say this is the matchup that he should be playing. But will Zubac a drop? No. In 14,
no, Zubac is not a drop. But if you drop him, I'll gladly get him. But
you're high on Zubac, but I'm not too high on Zubac.
Not too high. His skill set is just nice for a center. Good field goal rebounding.
He'll bounce back, but
I just feel like today was kind of a fluke for Zubac because Valanciunas shot threes.
But the past few games he has been so already. So let's see. But I hope I have Zubac also. I have a lot of Zubac also. So I hope for our sake that he turns it around.
Now the question is Serge Ibaka an ad now for in a 14 team?
I don't think he's an ad. But if you want to speculatively add, be my guest because we're only as good as you guys. You have your own analysis or whatever. In my own view, he shot the ball well today. That's why he got 13 points and everything. But I think it's a very low end guy. And I'd wait and see.
All right. Other players, other by players, we talked about Little. How about Herb Jones? Herb Jones is always been top that ads list for the past few weeks.
He's a
there's
all around
just a fear that he might not be able to. Every game might be a fluke.
He's already averaging 34 minutes a game. He's starting, and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, not good. He's basically lost his spot to Herb Jones. And because Herb Jones is the main defender of the team.
Yeah.
And he gives you help. He helps you in steals, in 2.3 assists a game, and three to four rebounds a game. Very low end, but kind of like a mini Dorian Finney or maybe a mini those kinds of players guy.
A potential utility guy that you need.
Yeah. So, I mean, in Roto leagues, he's helpful. In head-to-head, yeah, I mean, steals, 2-point-something steals. It's not bad already, but he doesn't score. So make sure that he's just one of the only utility guy. Maybe you're holding Royce O'Neal, you're holding that Dorian Finney, Matisse Thybulle, and this guy, you better be punting points. You better be punting points. Better be doing it correctly.
Yeah.
I have
lineups wherein I have Vanderbilt, Royce O'Neal. I think I had Dorian Finney as well in that lineup. But yeah, I'm not too bad there. But yeah. Yeah, you were saying?
Kleber. Maxi Kleber.
Maxi, yeah. I was just about to say Maxi Kleber. I think he had 13 today. 13,
yeah. 1 rebound only, so that's a bummer. 2 blocks, I think. But he's basically really a blocks and 3 points big. Yeah. And with Porzingis injured, I would assume that he will be getting the majority of the minutes of Porzingis.
Yeah.
With Dorian Finney-Smith, both of them. Don't mind Moses Brown. That's just noise.
I think they just try to match up with the bigs of Cleveland. Of course, Cleveland had the 3 big lineup back, right? So, so there, those are our buy players. Now let's talk about some feel-good players. There's a lot, but let's talk about Valanciunas first, because Valanciunas has been good this year so far.
Yeah.
Right, and he was, way good today, at least in the first half, because in the second half he wasn't as good already. So your thoughts on Valanciunas? I think there was a trade before that I showed you, and it involved Valanciunas. I couldn't remember which was the other teams, but I'm pretty sure it's quite a high player that in exchange for Valanciunas.
Well,
your thoughts on Valanciunas?
A lot of people feel that he's a buy, he's a sell high. I would not disagree with that. I mean, this 7 3-pointers Valanciunas don't be. Of course, that's a fluke. We know that, but he's averaging 1 3-pointer a game this year. That's already good. Zion is the big elephant in the room, right? I mean, just
literally.
Just imagining Zion in this team. You would already see that there would be an effect with. I know Zion will play minutes limit, will not play every game, but still, that would be annoying for Jonas Valanciunas owners. So, if you want to be ahead of it and trade him already, if you can get a good return, I would do that. But if you cannot find a good return, you want to ride Valanciunas, I'm okay with that too, because I think even when Zion comes back, he's still gonna be okay, just not this good. An example would be like Tyrese Maxey, right? We know we told you all about, and you guys all know that Maxey's so hot because Embiid is out, Tobias is out. Like today, both of them are there, and Maxey has slowed down. It's just how it is. But he's still good. He's still okay. So
So sell high on Valanciunas.
Sell high and
now. How high can you get with Valanciunas?
That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why it's really hard to sell high on Valanciunas. Like who?
Yeah.
Randall. Someone keeps on asking us about Randall for Valanciunas. And for me, that's not a sell high. I'd rather have Valanciunas. I'd rather have a guy who's playing. Maybe Sabonis would be okay. For it. Yeah.
A point guard maybe. Chris Paul.
Oh, I'll do that in a heartbeat if it's Chris Paul. Chris Paul is top 20. I think actually top 12.
Current rank of Sabonis of Valanciunas is quite high. Isn't he top 20 right now?
I don't think so. No, he had a kind of a rough stretch. I think if you can check, but I know it's around. I know it's below 20. I'm not too sure the exact rank.
Let me check. Hopefully it's all right. Let me see. But I think he's been playing well. So let's see who else can we get for Valanciunas. So Valanciunas is, well, he is season rank 4, but that's because because of today's game, right? He isn't
Yeah, yeah.
bad for the past few games. He had 12. He's averaging, all right, let's see the average. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 2.4
12
assists,
rebounds. Yeah.
zero point 0.9 blocks, and he has 1.3 steals. And the percentages for a center are really good. And that's one of the things I like about Valanciunas. 51% from the field and
Yes.
86% from the free throw line.
That's why I think you have to be sure about the player you're getting in return. Because his, as Jeremy said, his skill set is very balanced. He doesn't, you play him and you don't worry that, oh no,
Yeah.
I might get although the first game of the year he had a bad shooting night, but usually you don't think that he'll get you a 2 out of 15, or he'll be 5 out of 12 in the free throw line, or he'll have 7 turnovers. So you have to be very, very careful with
I
the
have one.
player.
I have one. Valanciunas for OG.
I'd rather have Valanciunas. I'd rather have Valanciunas. He's a
Than
center.
OG. Or,
Yeah, he's a center, and it's really tough. It's really tough to.
Vucevic.
That one I might consider only because of the Zion risk. Only because of the Zion risk. If Zion is not coming back this year, I would be Valanciunas all the way. But because of the Zion risk, I will consider that. Plus the fact that, as people have said, how long will the Pelicans be in contention? When you need Valanciunas, will he be there for you? Nobody knows. So there's risk. There's those risks also. So because of that, I'm okay with Vucevic.
All right. So
That kind of level. I mean, Chris Paul, Vucevic. You said those for me are good. Sabonis, so. I mean, you guys have to see your team if you can take the poor free throw of Sabonis compared to Valanciunas. So you have to be careful with that.
yeah. So there's Jonas Valanciunas. Who else are feel good? We have still a few more minutes. Let me see. Nikola Vucevic. As I was saying, we just called him out, but it was against Charlotte. That's why I wanted to ask if this is legit already. Today was way too good. I don't expect him to do this, consistent.
What's the stats today? I think 12 of
30
19.
points, 30
Okay.
points,
14
14
rebounds.
rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. And he was just like Valanciunas. He was 6 out of 6 from threes and 12 out of 19 field goals. So
what a matchup with Charlotte can do for you, right?
Yeah. So is this gonna be, well, not as good, but is this the end of the buy low thing for Vucevic, or is this a one game thing? Because that's the biggest question. We know that it was against Charlotte, and we know that Charlotte goes up again. I mean, centers feast against Charlotte. So what's this?
I think it's somewhere in between, and I think this is not just about Charlotte. Billy Donovan really made sure to really put the offense, give more shots to Vucevic. It's a matter of him making shots. Whether this would be a one-off thing or not depends on if his shots will fall going forward. He will be featured in the offense. It's whether the shots will fall. The other stats for me have been there. Rebounds, blocks, have been there. It's the points, it's the percentages that has not been there. And going forward, he cannot blame the offense anymore. I think they're making tweaks to it so that he will be featured in it also. Now, if he can make his shots, that's up to him. We don't know. So I don't know if it's still a buy low. It depends on your league, right? But I'm still a very, very aggressive buy on Vucevic. Right. If I can get him, I want to.
I actually have a pending trade that involves Vucevic. But we'll talk about that later on when it gets approved, because I'm asking the league to vote on it. Anyway, Christian Wood and Sabonis, 2 players, 2 centers we talked about as well previously.
Yes.
Big games today. Christian Wood had 24 points, 21 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks with 3 threes. And Sabonis had a triple-double, 25 rebounds.
Couple of things in the hoops
Buying
life.
it or not?
in the Hoops Life guesting, we talked about the schedule of Houston. They're against today OKC. They have OKC again. They have Orlando. They have New Orleans. And they were against Charlotte the last time out when Wood also had the big game. So this is a 5-game stretch, which is really the easiest, cushiest schedule you can find. And one more thing. They changed the rotation. They made it small ball. Christian Wood is the only center. 4 small players around him. They won't play Daniel Tice. They won't play Alperen Sengun, sorry. But they won't play him. They won't play him together with Wood. So that is a big thing that we found out about this. So for the near future, I'm expecting more big lines from Christian Wood like this. But for the, in the longer term, I'm still not buying it. In the longer term, I think he still hurts you in a lot of categories. So I think not necessarily you have to sell, but if you can get a more, well-rounded guy like Vooch, Valanciunas, if you can get him, maybe I'll do those things. I'll do those
That's
trades.
too low for Valanciunas. If I was the Valanciunas owner, I would buy that.
After the next games against OKC, Orlando, and New Orleans, I'm sure
the timing. If Valanciunas plays not as good in the next few games, and then Wood plays really well in the next few games. Otherwise, not really. I don't think I'll sell my Valanciunas for Christian Wood.
And Sabonis, by the way, Miles Turner was out also, and they started TJ McConnell. So look at the starting 5: McConnell, Brogdon, LeVert, and Justin Holiday. 4 small players, and then Sabonis. So he had 25 rebounds. Come on. Obviously, he's going to take all the rebounds. There's nobody. There's no one else. So
are you saying it's a little flukish this time?
Yeah. If you look at the starting 5, Justin Holiday is the biggest guy aside from Sabonis.
Who were they against today?
Who were they against? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who they were against. But even... Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And Minnesota was without Jared Vanderbilt. Minnesota was without Jaden McDaniels. Yes. So Minnesota actually also started small. Aside from Karl Anthony Towns, they played Okogie. They played Torian Prince. So who's left there? The only 2 big guys there are Karl Anthony Towns and Sabonis. So, a little flukish, but of course we have said that we're buy low on Sabonis. So that means we believe that he's really better than what he's been showing. So this is a good start for him.
So on that note, I think the past few days we talked about these players, and today they feasted. Hopefully the next one will be Bradley Beal, Montrezl Harrell, Miles Bridges.
Come on, guys.
Josh Giddey. So let's see how those players go. But we'll see you again, guys, tomorrow for another daily fantasy quick. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.